Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video where today we return with the Austrian Grand Prix feature race from our F222 Teo Porcher career mode. Yes, if you missed out on the sprint that went live yesterday, I would highly recommend going back and checking out. Austria, a bit like Silverstone last weekend, is certainly delivering the action here, but 20 points back from Felipe Drugovich as we head into this one today. Fingers crossed we can continue to try and close up in the championship fight there. Of course, a massive thank you to all of you for the insane and continued support. At the time of recording, we're getting very, very close to 94,000 subscribers. So if you're not already, please do make sure you like, get yourself subscribed as well for daily Formula 1 related content. Of course, trying to hit 100k by the end of the year. It's going to be close, it's going to be tight, it's going to be difficult. But if you haven't clicked that big red button already, it would be greatly, greatly appreciated. As let's get into it though. Feature race today, 20 more laps ahead of us from the Austrian Grand Prix circuit. Hopefully we can try and outscore Drugovich once again.
And we're back for today's second sprint race. We've reversed the top 10 on the grid and the drivers are almost set. This is looking to be a thrilling conclusion to the end of day one. As we're now moments away from the off, let's take a look at the grid order in which they'll start today's race. Jack Doohan lines up on pole position, and it's Felipe Drugovich in P2. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Vips, Porcher, Dennis Hauger, and Armstrong. Sato, Vesti, Deruvala, Logan Sargent, Williams, Cordial, Ollie Caldwell, Bullock Bassi, Awasa, Novalak, Nissani, and Richard Verschoor. Hughes, Lawson, Boschon, and Enzo Fittipaldi completes the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track.
Okay, here we go. I know what you can do. Don't let me down.
Right, here we are then, back on the grid, ready for today's feature race. Starting up towards the front of the field, but yeah, interesting to see what we could do with the strategy here. You know what? We're going to go back on the alternate strategy this weekend. They're going to try and go half and half, I think, on the tyres. Tyre wear hasn't been horrendous around this circuit so far this weekend, so we'll wait and see as to what we can do. But yeah, the UNI Virtuosi car of Jack Doohan on pole. Felipe Drugovich starting one row in front of myself as well. Fingers crossed we can try and jump him today. The gap 20 points, it did come down after yesterday's sprint, but it's got to keep coming down every single race there. Yuri Vips alongside us, and it looks like, yeah, we are the only car inside the top 4 that is, or at least inside the top 6 starting on the hards. So we're probably going to lose a few places early on, but later on in the day, that's where we will really come alive. Well, I don't know what Dennis Hauger's doing then as we head down in towards the final corner. Hauger and Marcus Armstrong apparently are just going to start trying to jump cars around them as we get ready to line up on the grid. Absolutely love to see that from the AI, you know, just an absolute, just messing around for the sake of it. But yeah, getting ready then to line up in our grid slot. We desperately need to try and work some temperature into the tyres for this start because we are probably going to go backwards here as we get ready then to line up on the grid. I think the goal today is just going to be trying to stick within the DRS zone of the cars in front of us there, because that can give us a lot of free time early on in this GP. We obviously altered the front wing yesterday, ready for the sprint race. It worked quite nicely there, maybe we still have enough sticking force through the corners, but let's get into it then. 5 red lights once more from Austria, and it is going to be the lights out, and away we go as Yuri Vips and Felipe Drugovich don't get a good start there. Dennis Hauger will cut him off as he tries to get a run around the outside in towards turn 1, and we've been hit. It's by Fred Vesti, our teammate, has absolutely turned us through turn 1 there. We can't worry about that too much, we've just got to get on with it. And that sent us right back down the order then at the start of this Grand Prix. Fred Vesti was nowhere near me off the grid there, so no idea how late our teammate must have been on the brakes as we head up the hill there, as we'll try and sneak back up the inside of a couple of cars in towards turn 3. But what was that from our teammate Fred Vesti there, and look how much the gaps have opened up immediately at the front of the field there as we were sent almost into a complete 360 spin out of turn 1 there, and obviously held up a lot of the field, Constantine everyone up. But once more, in another feature race, we've had some issues here. Last weekend, of course, it was MP Motorsport boxing me in the pit lane. This weekend, it's our teammate going up against me there at the start of the race, and that's really not helped us out on these hard compound tyres. Whoa! Big wobble there as we head down the hill as well, as surely now Ayumu Owasa's going to come back at me as we head down in towards the final corner. No, Owasa will just get caught out behind us as he tries again to go for a bit of a desperate lunge in towards the final couple of corners. But luckily, Jack Doohan leads the way there. Is a little bit wide out of the final turn. Looks like it is Yuri Vips that's got the jump on Felipe Drugovich out of the first corner, and the big train in front of us extends from 13th back up to 4th place here. But once again, we have been involved in an incident that, well, I mean, let me know down in the comments below, but I certainly didn't feel like that was my fault. Right, post-race map then here, let's have a look at what exactly Fred Vesti did in towards someone. There you can see got a pretty decent start actually on a couple of the cars in front of him, alongside Marcus Armstrong in towards someone. There are just big lock-up and nowhere for Fred Vesti to go. I mean, not going to put the blame too much on Fred, but that was entirely his fault there at turn 1, and now we have got a lot of work to do. DRS now enabled then in this feature race. We've got to try and get back within range of Jem Bolek-Bassi just in front of us. There is Drugovich already applying pressure to Yuri Vips, I can see on my mini-map, and I can also just see 2 specks at the top of the hill as well. But fingers crossed, if a lot of these AI battle early on, we're going to have to be really, really smart with this. There we go. We don't have to be really smart with it if Ollie Caldwell's just going to hold everyone up, but still, not within range of the detection point, but we should be as we start lap 4. But unfortunately, as we come around the final couple of corners, about to start lap 5, looks like Callum Williams, and I want to say Amory Cordial. Yes, it is. Look how much they're batting on each other. That's going to leave Jem Bolek-Bassi vulnerable at the final turn as well. But they've absolutely lost bags of time to the cars in front there as Williams. Whoa, we've got someone else trying to look around my outside. Contact everywhere down at turn 1 as Ollie Caldwell now runs wide off the corner. We're going to be able to get a run on the Brit, but now you can see Jem Bolek-Bassi with the DRS as we head up the hill there. Looks like Cordial has lost the place as well. So it is all still kicking off early on here. Callum Williams up inside the top 10. But a big, big gap now up to P9 up the road. It is just not working for us in these feature races. I don't know what we're meant to do, but I cannot get any luck. Well, luckily now we can just see Awasa has dropped back at the DRS range behind us. Maybe stuck battling with Ollie Caldwell. Surely now we're going to see these tyres start to come into their own. As all Callum Williams runs very, very wide at the top of the hill. We have to take evasive action and avoid running into the back of Cordial. And once again, just another moment in this race where it could really go either way. And it goes the way of us just getting tripped over. Wrong place at the wrong time again. When can I catch a break? Oh, Bolek-Bassi struggling off the exit turn 1 there. Amory Cordial just up the road as well is going to be vulnerable. Are we going to see potentially 3 wide action as we head up in towards turn 3? No, we'll have a look up the inside of Jem Bolek-Bassi there. Tiny bit of contact with his side pod, but we will pull off the move. And somehow Cordial still getting the DRS of Callum Williams just up the road there, but he's not really going to get the effect of the slipstream. We're going to get 2 for the price of 1. Oh, but just like the move we pulled off on Jay Andaruvale yesterday, we run a bit too deep, but this time around we do cover him off on the exit, and now we're starting to see potentially these hard tyres just go up equal on pace with the softs here. We've got 1.5 seconds up to Callum Williams, and of course yesterday's winner, Logan Sargent, almost 5 seconds up the road, and he's still at the back of that train. There we go, starting to see our first few cars into the pit lane then at the end of lap 9. We're going to box probably the end of lap 11 as Fred Vesti into the pit lane means we do have a little bit more options when it comes to strategy here. That was a tiny bit wide out of the final corner. New personal best for the day. Everyone else then boxing, of course, over onto those hards. But yeah, it really has not been the start to the race we would have wanted, but we've got to hope this one can come back to us in the second half. We are taking good time now out of that gaggle of cars at the road, but Drugovich still leading the way in that huge train. I mean, Jack Doohan basically has done a Logan Sargent from yesterday and probably will dominate this one, but we've just got to wait and see. I'm not boxing the end of this one. I'm going to wait 1 extra one, Mark. There we go. Last few cars into the pit lane then, so we are going to take the lead of this race for the first time today. There, as you can see how hard we're pushing through the final couple of corners there. Of course, the real-life F2 weekend was a bit carnage because of track limit warnings. Luckily, F122 a little bit more lenient than the real FIA stewards. But yeah, as we head back through turn 1, we're going to box then at the end of this lap. As Jack Doohan, yeah, comfortably out in front of the rest of the field. But we've got to try and get closer to that huge train of cars from P2 backwards. It's definitely the right time to pit though, as Jack Doohan an 8-second lead over Felipe Drugovich after just 11 laps. It's not bad going in identical machinery. So we've got yellow flags out. Enzo Fittipaldi out of this feature race. And oh, how we could have done with a safety car. I just remembered at the last second it's 37 miles an hour, not 50 in the F2 car. So that got a little bit nip and tuck into the pit lane. But luckily, of course, we won't get boxed in this weekend. As all Yuma Oasa out of the race as well. That often will lead to a safety car if it's more than one car. And yes, it has. We've got a safety car in this race, so that has worked out pretty much perfectly for us then. Where are we going to re-emerge in this race? We've got to effectively race out of the pit lane still. And we are now going to be up inside the top 10. We have been given a lifeline in this feature race. We're up into P9, just ahead of Jay and the Ruvula, and we've got fresher, quicker tyres right to the flag. That being said though, 2 Mechachrome engine failures inside 4 corners. When are they going to sort that? I mean, the one driver this does completely ruin is Jack Doohan. Absolutely dominated the first half of this race, but now he's going to have Felipe Drogovic, Yuri Vips, and a whole host of other cars all over his gearbox again, but we are surely in the hot seat to really capitalise on this. We might have had a horrendous first half to this feature race, but surely the second half, fresher, quicker tyres, we can just pick cars off, hopefully. Doohan is going to lead us the way then here on the restart for the Austrian Grand Prix. We've got 6 laps worth of racing to go, and we're currently down in P9. Where do we think we can finish in this one today? Let me know down in the comments below, but fingers crossed we can really just try and work these tyres right to the end there. Of course, we've got fresher, quicker rubber than the rest of the field. The alternate strategy, the perfectly timed safety car for us round in the final couple of turns. Whoa, a little bit of Constantina in up there as Logan Sargent, yesterday's race winner, just a little bit reluctant to get on with it, but it is green flag racing once more then. Here from the Spielberg circuit, Jack Doohan will be desperate to try and lead the way again and try to break free at the front of the field, but you can already see the grip advantage we've got to the inside of Logan Sargent. Of course, the Williams junior driver, of course, making his debut in Formula 1 next year. Surely this is going to be a done deal as we head up the hill, and we'll even get up the inside of Sato as well. That's the grip levels we've got at the moment there. We've got to try and capitalise. Mark loving it as well, up 2 spots instantly. Next up, Armstrong. The Armstrong there tripping over slightly as we head down in towards the final couple of turns of lap 15, but we have just got so much more grip at the moment. Of course, haven't used the soft compound tyres since Friday night qualifying. At the moment, I am absolutely loving them there. It's at the final corner. We'll get all over the gearbox of the high-tech car. New fastest lap of the day as well. Surely that one we can lock in the bonus points for, as Armstrong going to run very, very deep at turn 1 there. Tries to cover me off on the exit, but impossible to do so there. And now up into 6th place once more. Next up is our teammate. You can see Drogovic in hot pursuit of Jack Doohan at the front of the field. Fred Vesti, of course, hit me at turn 1. Can we try and re-jump our teammate in a bit of a cleaner fashion? I'm sure if this was real-life Formula 2, the team would just be telling Fred Vesti to get out of the way, especially after what he did on lap 1, but round in the final corner. This is not real Formula 2. We've got to try and get a run on our teammates. There we go to the inside. DRS will now be re-enabled as well, side by side with our ART teammate in towards turn 1. And we will pull off another move there, trying to compromise him as little as possible. And now we've got the DRS on Hauger. Hauger then the highest Red Bull Junior in this feature race at the moment, is through the final corner. Can we try and relegate him back down into P5? We're going to get a nice run off the final turn. First car into the 14s all weekend long there, but we're not going to be able to do anything in towards turn 1. We're going to have to try and get a run off the corner as Hauger, big wobble there out of turn 1 to the inside for turn 2 and turn 3. And surely this one's going to be a done deal once more there. Just the AI can't really do a lot about it. So we're on softer, fresher rubber at the moment. These tyres might start to go off towards the end, but with 3 laps to go, they are still providing us with the grip we need, and they were not far behind our big rival Drogovic. Just Yuri Vips between myself and the MP Motorsport car. Yuri Vips, of course, will have the DRS off of Felipe Drogovic in front of him, but surely we're going to be able to get a nice run out of turn once more. There is purple through the final sector, miss out on another fast lap by just 4 thousandths of a second over what I've already done there, and you can see how hard the AI trying to work those hard compound tyres. Yuri Vips has got nothing he can do about it off the corner, and that one might be even easier than the move we just pulled off on Dennis Hauger. Is up at the top of the hill. We're going to be ever closer to Felipe Drogovic as well. We've only got a lap and a half left to go though, and Drogovic now without any DRS to defend himself. Surely this one might be the easiest of the lot as we head back down the other side of the hill. You can see Jack Doohan with a 2-second lead still at the moment. That might be a bit too much to try and close up in towards the final lap of this race, but we need to try and get past Drugovich. How on earth? I mean, we've been able to recover this through pretty much pure luck and wonderful timing, but we should have been in this battle anyway, right from the get-go there. Just an unfortunate incident down at turn 1 with my teammate Fred Vesti. You can see we've got a nice run on Felipe Drugovich out in towards the final couple of turns here to the inside of our Brazilian rival and steamroll up the inside there of Felipe. Use a little bit of curb through the penultimate corner, but we will claim the place there and up into P2 with 1 lap to go then of this feature race. Another new fast lap of the day there on 1:14.3. We are absolutely flying at the moment, as can we get close enough to Jack Doohan on this final lap there. Drugovich will just fall away ever so slightly, but he'll still have the DRS as we head up the hill. I feel like Jack Doohan might just have a big enough advantage here that he should be able to walk away with this feature race victory after absolutely dominating the first half. He had an 8-second lead before the safety car, and I can't help but feel as well that these soft tyres aren't giving us the advantage they once were. Might have just taken them a bit too much through the penultimate couple of turns. They're trying to complete the move on Felipe Drugovich there, using plenty of curb as we head down the hill. And yeah, Jack Doohan then is going to claim the race victory here today, but we are once more going to take points out of our big rival Drugovich, and that is absolutely key. It's not going to be a lot of points, but it is the first weekend in a long time, and I think we've outscored him in both the sprint and the feature. GG's Jack Doohan round in the final couple of corners. He is going to claim the victory in this feature race here, but yeah, from being pretty much backwards down at turn 1, we recovered it well. We gained from 9th to 2nd in the final few laps. That's going to be a well-deserved podium.
Great work, well done. We're really happy with the podium here, well done.
So another fantastic victory for Virtuosi. Tell me, Davide, what was the key to this success?
This race, this win, was about one thing and one thing only: consistency. Anyone can be quick for just one lap, but there's a difference between that and being quick every lap, over and over and over. If you can do that, if you can gain ground when your opponents make mistakes, but then not make mistakes on your own, you can just push and push.
Another race and another victory for Virtuosi as we see the drivers make their way out to the podium for the final ceremony. Superb racing out there today and a well-deserved win. So then, it's time to see how this result affects the Drivers' Championship. The lead at the top has come down after a poor result for our points leader. And so, driver of the day then, Davide Valsecchi, who do you think you'd go for?
Difficult call, but I'd like to say Theo Pourchaire. He's just so gifted at getting the most out of the tires, and he showed that today.
And here's how things are shaping up in the Teams' Championship. It was a tough race for our championship leaders, who lose ground at the top of the table. There was also a strong showing from the Virtuosi team today, as they make their way up the standings. After all this drama, you'd be mad not to join us for the next race. We hope to see you then. Take care.
Well, there we are then, the end of the F2 feature race here from Spielberg. And yeah, safe to say, we did get a bit lucky later on in the afternoon, but after all the bad luck at the start, I will absolutely take it there. Jack Doohan with the race victory, but another fastest lap for ourselves, and P2 there means we take a further 4 points out of Felipe Drugovich. Yuri Vips P4 ahead of Hauger and our teammate Fred Vesti means again we make good gains on MP Motorsport in the Constructors' Championship. Armstrong, Sato, Sargent and Deruvala rounding out our top 10 from the race today. Again, just Iwasa and Fittipaldi not able to make it to the checkered flag. It means championship-wise, yeah, the gap at the top down to 16 points there as Jack Doohan now jumps Jem Bollock-Bassi into P3. They're the best of the rest in what is a fierce battle going on further down the rostrum. Hauger jumps Sargent and Iwasa. Sato, Armstrong and Yuri Vips jump for Shaw and Novalak, as there we go, our teammate now up ahead of Callum Williams and Jake Hughes. 14th place for Fred Vesti there. Teams-wise, MP Motorsport now, the gap comes down to 18 points at the top of the standings. Virtuosi re-jump Kramer. High-Tech jumps Charouz, Trident and Carlin once more there, and what is looking like, yeah, an incredibly tight battle for P5 overall in the Constructors' Championship. There's a lot to play for still as we head into the second half of the season. Thank you all so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure you leave a like, get yourself subscribed as well, and we will return very soon with more Formula 1 content. None of these videos would be possible without the help of our channel members, so a massive thank you to all of the names you see on your screens currently for helping support the channel. You can join them by clicking the join button down below, and yeah, thank you once again to everyone that continues all the insane support on my work.